So I wanted to follow up on my previous video where I did an unboxing for the X Trilogy 4K Collector's Edition, and I rewatched all three movies, so I wanted to talk about it. So X came out in 2022, and X for me had a lot of buzz around it as being an excellent slasher film directed by Ty West starring Mia Goth. And in 2022, I loved it. I thought it was just a great homage of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you watch it. The premise is that a group of people plan to go to this farm in Texas to film a pornographic movie, and the adventure goes from there. The movie is sexy. It's creepy. I don't usually get creeped out by slasher films, but this movie is creepy because the farm is owned by this old couple, and they're a strange old couple, and they have ulterior motives. And I loved this when I watched it in 2022. Watching it in 2025, I was surprised at how slow that I felt the movie was. I still enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it really felt pretty slow to me, and I didn't feel it in 2022. Now, let's just be honest, the movie is titillating. It's meant to be, it's supposed to be, and it is. You got Brittany Snow in there, Mia Goth, Jenna Ortega, Martin Henderson, Owen Campbell, and Scott Mescudi, which whenever I see it, I want to pronounce Scott Mescudi. I have not heard one note of a Kid Cudi song, but he's not bad in the movie. He's pretty good. The best thing about this movie that I found this time around is Ty West. He gives the characters a slight moment of goodness that makes you like them. And there are so many horror movies where I don't care about any of the characters at all. So when they start getting killed off one by one, I don't care. So I'm not invested in the characters. I don't care about the story, so I don't care about the whole thing. And in here, I like how they make them real characters. And for example, spoiler alert, you have the moment where Scott Mescudi, he wants to help the old man out. And then Brittany Snow's character, she puts a blanket over the old lady. And then even Mia Goth's character, she starts yelling at Jenna Ortega's character like, we should stick together. So I like that about the movie. And again, to reemphasize, this is a sexy movie. And that's a big theme in the trilogy. So it's meant to be there. It's intentional. And I like that about the movie. And honestly, in 2022, I think I was just shocked and pleasantly surprised by the sex and nudity in the movie X. So this second time around, again, I did enjoy it. I was just surprised at how slow I felt that the movie was, especially at the beginning, but eventually it picks up. Now, Pearl is directed by Ty West, directed, produced, and edited by Ty West, who co-wrote the screenplay with Mia Goth. Supporting cast includes David Corenswet, Superman himself, Tandy Wright, Matthew Sunderland, and Emma Jenkins Purro. In 2022, I did not like Pearl as much, and I gotta say, a lot of that is probably because X was titillating and Pearl was not. And it reminds me of kind of like Terrifier. In the middle of the first Terrifier movie, there is one of the most infamous kills in recent horror movie history. And then Terrifier 2, there's nothing even remotely close to that. And same thing with Pearl. Pearl was not as sexy, but rewatching it in 2025, I felt like, I had some distance. And I like Pearl a lot more this time around. I like Pearl more than X this time around, which really surprised me. Pearl is it's a completely different movie. It focuses on the Pearl character from X, and I just love the colors. Every time Mia Goth screamed, I was howling with laughter just because she's so intense, and it's just a thrill to see her just like, you're not gonna leave me on this farm. Like I loved her in it. And Superman's really charming in the movie. Tandy Wright is so shrill isn't the word, but she's scary and intense, and she really added a lot to the movie. And by the way, I really liked Emma Jenkins Purro. Where is she at? Her name is not blue on Wikipedia. Not that means anything, but she was in a big movie with Mia Goth, directed by Ty West. and I don't know where she's at. We'll get to it in MaXXXine, but Hollywood is a tough place to be, I guess. But I did really love Pearl this time around. It almost felt like a dream sequence, just the way it plays out. Parts of it are a dream sequence, the dance sequence. And spoiler alert, I was watching some of the bonus features, and Mia Goth says she sees the projectionist as this projection of her kind of imagination and everything she wants. I feel like Mia Goth should maybe write some more, because this movie was great. The ending shot of Mia Goth is amazing. I love that, where she's just smiling into the camera. So I was surprised, because Pearl for me in 2022 was kind of a letdown, and this time around I really loved it. So now let's get to MaXXXine. MaXXXine didn't do much for me in 2022 or 2025. I gotta be honest. MaXXXine is written, directed, produced, and edited by Ty West. It stars Mia Goth. Also stars Elizabeth Debicki, Moses Sumney, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cannavale, Halsey, Lily Collins, Giancarlo Esposito, and Kevin Bacon. Look, to be fair, to play devil's advocate, it's hard to follow up X and Pearl. And just talking about those two movies, it's so weird, because I loved X and liked Pearl, and then now in 2025 I liked X and loved Pearl. So they're two very, very good, solid movies. So watching them all in 2025, I didn't really like it back then, and I don't really like it now. My opinion went up a little bit on MaXXXine, but overall, it's hard to follow up those two great movies. X being 1979 Texas, and then Pearl being 1918 Texas, and then all of a sudden we are in 1986 LA. I don't know, the whole vibe is different, and I didn't really like the vibe in this. I can kind of get what Ty West was going for. A lot of the characters are kind of like over to the top, kind of this noir mystery thriller thing. Kevin Bacon's doing this over the top Louisiana accent. Michelle Monaghan and Bobby Cannavale are playing these kind of goofy, cartoony cops. I know actors probably hate this, but I can't see Giancarlo Esposito as anyone else besides Gus Fring. That's my own hang up. Sure. I don't know. I don't have much to say on it. There's a few cool scenes in it. MaXXXine smashing that dude's balls was just shocking. And then Kevin Bacon's character getting crushed in the car compactor was fun. Lily Collins' scene, she has like 20 seconds of dialogue. It was cringe last year, and it's cringe this year. I cannot tell if her accent is English, Irish, or Scottish. And it sounds like a small thing, but it bothered me both times I watched it. And I have watched a bunch of episodes of her in Emily in Paris with my wife, and I find her a delightful actress. But in here, I'm like, why are you in here? What is this accent? It's so jarring to hear that accent. I'm like, I don't know what this is supposed to be. If you had just spoken in your regular accent, this would not be an issue. And then the movie ends with a shootout. And to me, this is a slasher horror movie. There's nothing less scary than an LA shootout. It was just culmination into nothing. MaXXXine's father going over the top in his acting, which is intentional. It's supposed to be there, but it just didn't work for me. MaXXXine is it just doesn't work for me, especially compared to the first two movies, which I really consider to be really solid, great movies. And then I'll just give some brief thoughts on the 4K Trilogy Collector's Edition. It costs $99 USD. Is it worth it? I don't know. I think $100 for the three movies is steep. I think it's a little high. But I don't know if the price will go down. What if it sells out and then the price never goes down? The thing is, like, the trailer is considered one of the special features. I'm like, you can find the trailer online on YouTube. And then the special features are the same as the Blu-rays, except they have added commentaries from the crew on all three movies. So those are new. But I was listening to the commentary on X. You got like Brittany Snow's character getting fucked on camera, and they're talking about the curtains. You know what I mean? Which is very weird. Like, I kind of want some commentary on what's happening on the screen. Like, to ignore, I don't know. I would have liked to hear commentary from Ty West, maybe some of the actors. It's cool to hear some of the insight from the crew, to be honest. It is kind of interesting, but it was kind of weird, just like they're commenting on the curtains during this scene. You know, there was some talk about the various Easter eggs, filming X and Pearl and going back and forth in time. A lot of that is interesting. There's also the booklet, which I looked through in a previous video. There's some cool artwork and stuff, but again, $99 for the 3 movies. It feels a little expensive in my opinion. Let me know what you think of these, of the X Trilogy, and let me know if you've watched them recently and what you think of them. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and say hi to your pets for me.